Hey, hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. For this video, we will be discussing the input data tool still under the in and out tool palette or tab. So let me go ahead and pull that one. As you remember, just hover over and click it and drag it, and that would be it. So let me just zoom that out just in case it's a bit small, just for you to see the tool itself, right? So the input data tool looks like an open book with one anchor, and this anchor is an output anchor located at the right side or front part of the tool itself. When you pull the tool from the tool palette to your canvas, just like what I did, you can see the tool's configuration at the left part of your Alteryx desktop app, like what I am showing here right now. So focusing now on your configuration window, be sure the last thing that you click is the input data tool you place on your canvas. What do I mean? Just like what I have, if this is the first time that you're encountering my video, so like what I have mentioned on my previous videos, if I click the canvas, the configuration setup will change. So I'm going back to the data, the input data tool that I have placed on the canvas, and it will go back to the correct configuration, which what we are looking for. Alright, so now as you can see, there are three main parts of this configuration. So from the top, the first one, connect a file or database. The second one is options. The third one is a preview window or box. Okay, so let's start from the top where it matters. So for the connect a file or database, this is the part where you find a data you will use and place it here on your workflow canvas. So this serves like, opening an Excel file in Excel worksheet, just like that. So let me go ahead and click this button. So there are different kinds of data or file types you import here in Alteryx. So to properly configure the tool, we start here. So once I click the blue button under the text bar, just what I had earlier, which is the setup a connection, this will show up. So as you can see, there is a recent connection here. If I clear this is how your feature should look like if this is the first time that you will be using Alteryx. So there are 4 tabs in this window. So the first one is the recent tab. And as you have seen earlier, before I cleared the list, it will show you if you've connected to other files or data connections or resources. Okay, so the second one is the files tab. So you have two different option here to import. This is where you import the file that you will be using for your workflow. All right, so one, you can drag and drop or select a file you will use. Sometimes this works, other times it doesn't, so it depends. More reliable would be the select file in this environment. Also, you can choose if you know the file type that you'll be using, so you can choose it here for the tutorial that I'll be using or I'll be doing in this series. What I'm only going to use as of the moment, because that's what you are familiar right now, will be the Microsoft xlsx and also the comma separate value or the CSV extension. So as you can see, we have two others, which was the data source and the server. Right now, since we are only starting with Alteryx, I'm not going to dwell on that. So we are only going to focus data sets that are actually files, which is in Excel, Microsoft Excel file, xlsx extension, or CSV. Unfortunately, xls extension is not being read in Alteryx. So for those of you who want to know more about these data types, data sources, if you actually go to Google, let me go ahead and do a demonstration of that. Let me just pull up like Google here. Alright, okay. So here's a Google. One of the things, and if you are not yet familiar with the Alteryx resources, so I can go ahead and type Alteryx input data tool. If I type that, see, I already used this, so it will give me the resources that I need for the input data tool. Okay, and it also have the data sources, files, recents, servers, and Excel files, and sort of. But what we are going to do here for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to do a monologue, is give you the shortcut. But yes, this is a very valuable resource because if there are any updates, then it will show up here. Alright, if you are unable to find this link online, then I can go ahead and add this on the description below. Alright, okay, so fun part, we are going to import a file in CSV format. Okay, so there are different ways for us to do this. So since the drag and drop feature is, I'm not sure why, but I'm having some challenges with that. I'm not sure if it's due to my Alteryx itself or something else, but if I drop this, it won't show. So I'm going to select a file, an alternative there, and it still shows. And as you can see, all data files, the file type that's being searched here is all data files. What I'm going to only choose here is the CSV file. Now I open that, it should show you this. Alright, okay, if you notice, file format was changed, the file path was shown here, and for the options we have 12 subcategory for the options, and it has different functions. So for each data type it varies. Okay, it's not consistent. Okay, but you can actually play with this. I have, and for example, if I start, so by the way, the refresh window, as I have demonstrated in the previous videos, I haven't run this, so as you can see under the results window, it hasn't shown any data yet. So if you have a very big data, like 100,000, if you're pulling somewhere, or like 10,000 data, you can preview how the data is structured here for the first, at least for the first 100 rows or records, excluding the header. Alright, so that's how it is. So I have mentioned that it differs on the data type. So let me go ahead and run this again. So this should correct. The error should be gone because it's already connected. So let me go ahead and run this first. Okay, so another way for me to import a data in here would be just drag and drop. That's how I usually do it because I'm a bit lazy. So I really don't want to just drag. I don't want to drag the input data tool already. Like this. So this is the xlsx version. I'm going to drag that here, and as soon as I did that, Alteryx identify that no, this is not a CSV file, this is a different file. So this is an xlsx format, and for Excel files, we do know that there would be 1, 2, or more sheets possible. It is possible that there would be 2 or more sheets in a file. All right. So this is what it symbolizes. Select a sheet. It lets me choose a sheet here. If you're only aiming for a range or a cell range here, you may choose here cell rows or columns, which is a bit complicated. What I that's why I don't use that much. There is an option here wherein you can just import only the list of sheet names. It will only show you the names of the sheets. Alright, it's a bit complicated for the meantime on how to use that, but let me go ahead and show you first how that looks. Alright, so if I only use the sheet names, this is how it will show. It will only show me the sheets, the name of the sheets in that file. In this case, it's only the there are only 4 sheets here. So let's go ahead and run that first. So as you can see, that became the data. So how will you change that back to data? Sean, I want to see the data. All right. Under the options, if you can see here, tab or query, you can go ahead and click that. Click the 3 buttons here, and it will show you the same window pop-up that we have earlier. So change it back to select a sheet and just select the Pokemon tab, and I'm going to OK this, and when I refresh this, it should show me the same data that I have in the CSV file. The difference here, just take a look here, for the CSV file, it only shows me the file name, but here on the xlsx, since it's not only for the Pokemon data, but there are other 3 tabs, then it will show that, hey, it is queried in this way. Alright, okay, so let's go ahead and check the difference when it comes to options. For the CSV file, there are 12. For the xlsx file, there should be 7 at least. Okay, so those are the difference that we have here on the 2. So what are the things that we can actually tweak here? So let's go ahead to the CSV. Click your CSV file, and as you can see, we have a record limit, so we can declare record limits in CSV and as well as for the xlsx file. So for example, I only need 10. I don't need all of the 1168 records. Or let's go ahead and declare 10%. I only need the 10%, which is at least 116 records. And when I go ahead and run this, it should only produce 116. Okay. And we also have the output. So let's go ahead and check the XLS for that. So yes, we have that. Let's go ahead and mimic that. 116. Just to see. Alright, 116, 116. Alright. They have the same one. Okay, so we have here on the 4th. This is important because when you learn how to combine data from different resources, I use this personally. I use this. Why? It's because it will help me map where that specific record or data came from, so I can backtrack where it exactly came from. And then at the end of the line, once everything is is done with my data, or I'm okay with my final data already, I can just remove this. But anyway, let me show you what it does. The output file name is as a field. It means that it will create one column at the end of this record. So as you can see right now, we have 10 fields. This should be the 11th field, and you have the choice to choose if are you going to import the file name only or the full path. If all your resources is in one like folder for the meantime, you can use the file name, and then I can run this right now. And as you can see, the file name Pokemon appeared. For the xlsx, it also have that. It is the number 5 column. Alright, so let's go ahead and have the file name only, and it should show the file name Pokemon. Alright, now the next one option is the full path. It means it will show me the even the location of the file itself. So how is this very helpful aside of locating the exact? So let's go ahead and see. For the CSV file, this is how it shows. Just a simple file path. But for the xlsx file, as you can see, it declared even the sheet itself. So for me, that is very beneficial, because if, for example, in this xlsx file, I am going to use all of the sheets in this file, then when it shows up here, I can determine or differentiate which from which sheet it came from, even though it came from a for the same file. Alright, so that's good. I'm okay with that. And then another one which is not appearing in the xlsx, I only use this once, and it's the delimiter. So there are CSV files wherein they are all clumped together, or like they are written or one record, one line, instead of separated in different columns or fields, they are only in one field, and they are like separated by a comma or a period. So you can use this. Another feature that we have here is the first row containing field names. So that means it's the header. For CSV file, if I unclick this and I run this, the header will be considered as a row or a data, and the header will change to field numbers. So that's how it is. I'm going to hang on. It's so small. Let me go ahead and drag this to make it bigger. Thank you. So I'm going to return that because I like the header. Yes, it goes back. So another thing is start data import lines. So for example, in here I have the first two. So for CSV here, starting import lines, it means that it's reading the header. Okay, if I change this to 2, doesn't mean that it is going to move up. So the first line Bulbasaur grass, as you can see here in my data set, it will go up. The name of the headers will remove, or it will disappear. So as you can see here, I refreshed it, and this is how it's going to show. I just don't want to run this for the meantime because we've been running this, but yeah, just for a fast view, this is how it looks like. So as you can see, the header changed to the first line Bulbasaur, and the first record, instead of the grass, it changed to the Bulbasaur poison. So let's go ahead and remove that because I want it back to see. So when I refresh it and return back to 1, the headers will return. Now I haven't tried placing a 0 here? I'm just curious. Oh, okay. It doesn't read it. Alright. So there you go. Now, let's go to the xlsx file. Alright, just for you to see the difference. Okay. So, as you can see here, first row contains data. It's actually a reverse. So what it does, it pushes down the header. So it considers the header as a data. So I don't want that. Let's go ahead and refresh to return the header. And the start import line, same as the CSV. Let's go ahead and have that here. And again, grass. The grass Bulbasaur became the header itself. But I don't want that. I want my header. And there we go. So that's how you can go ahead and play with your input data tool. I hope it helps. For the meantime, just with simple CSV and xlsx file. So you can go ahead and play with this. You can just use, you don't have to have the same data set that I have. It's just that I have this data file. But yeah, just for you to get accustomed with the importing, for the meantime, importing of the data. So on the next video that I'll be doing, I'll be at least 3, I hope, because some of the tools here that are left are easy and what you are going to use most of the time, and will be included in the course certification if you're after the course certification, which is for me my primary goal. That's why I've put out this tutorial. Anyway, thank you so much for the time, and I'll see you next time.